Hi, Wednesday is here again, so let's get started. These two questions are very similar, one from a Ted, and one from Bart. Please send me information about reversing curses. I heard you the other night on the George Norrie show. It's not reversing curses, it's removing curses. Reversing means sending it back to who did it to you, and we don't do that. We are not the curse police. So we just remove it and send it up to the light and let universal law take care of it. And this is from Bart, and heard you on C2C the other night. Great show. Interested in obtaining the book that allows friends to remove curses from you. It is When Go Speak. And you can find it pretty much anywhere, but you can definitely find it in the library. And I think libraries are opening up now, so I think you should be okay. Hi, Marianne. A couple years ago, my daughter's family moved into a new home when my grandson was only 2. Mom kept seeing him talking to someone in the dining room. She didn't think much of it until she asked him who he was talking to. He said, "Betty, she's my friend." Well, I guess Betty had told him to get out of her house. He described to my daughter, down to the hair color, the red dress. Mom was terrified, but I was intrigued. I would continually ask him questions. We're going to stop right here because that's a big no-no with children. When they tell you they're seeing things or sensing things, listen to them, soothe them, but don't ask them questions every time you see them. Who's here? Did you see anything? What did you dream about last night? Who's down the basement? Who's in the living room? Don't do that to children. That's the worst thing that you can do. So I would continually ask him questions, and he always stayed consistent with his stories. By the time he turned 3, he told my daughter that he doesn't like Betty anymore and that she was mean. I told him she needed to leave and go into the light. He was confused, but I kept insisting and instilling it into him and explaining that she didn't belong there. Well, one day he told me she was gone, that she went into the light. I was flabbergasted and asked what it looked like. He described just what you do, and it sounded like a big fan. Wow, I still ask him about this, and he's 4 now. He says she's dead and in heaven. She would like my thoughts. Kids are good. Kids can see spirits that crossed over, spirits that have not crossed over. Again, Grandma, you just have to back off. You have to let the kid do what he wants to do on his own. Pay attention to him, listen to him, comfort him if he's afraid, but don't keep asking him questions all the time, because at some point he's going to have enough of this and say, "No more. Stop asking me questions. I don't see anything." And you don't want that to happen. Okay, this is from Annie in Texas. We've been experiencing events for a while. They've increased in the past year. I'm a grandma to twin girls, a mom to a daughter, a son age 25. My daughter is expecting another girl anytime. All of them live with me. Each of us has experienced an event or multiple events. The twins are experiencing things the more frequently, and due to their age, we have trouble discerning what they are truly experiencing and what we think they might be experiencing. I've experienced lots of things throughout the years, but they've been very benign, hands on shoulder, my low back, voices occasionally. But when the little ones begin seeing and interacting with things that sometimes scare them, I am concerned. My son was a non-believer, But this past year, he had his own experience, and now he's just almost as bad as the twins. Okay, children, anybody that does not go into the light stay the same age. So if your children or the twins were playing with somebody that was close to their age, then it would be like an imaginary friend. But this is the thing, your children and your grandchildren get older every day. The spirits do not. So eventually, those ghost children will leave and go find another house with young children again. Now, people that don't like children when they're alive don't like children when they're dead either. And that actually makes me very angry when ghosts end up in a house and tease kids or are mean to kids. So in this instance, being that they're afraid, I definitely would start smudging on a regular basis. Not hit and miss. Do it all the time. And at least every 10 days, because it sounds like there's a lot of activity in the house. Plus, with all of you living in the house, there's a lot of energy. And especially, and you don't want this going on with a new baby coming in the house. So have the house blessed by an ordained priest or minister, or start smudging on a regular basis. Okay, this one is from Amber in Idaho. Can spirits cause your home to have extremely low humidity? Our last home was extremely dry and was haunted. We moved 3 years ago into an older home that had a lot of moisture in the air. Now weird things started to happen in our new home about a year after we moved in, and now this home is extremely dry all the time. Curious, is there a connection? If a spirit was in your old home and wanted to come with you to your new home, they could. Who's going to tell them they can't? They could move with you if they want to. But earthbound spirits do have a habit of messing with thermostats. They can make a room hotter, colder. It's been a while since I heard anything about a humidifier. But it's an electric switch. I mean, they could do something, change it. When the house gets too dry, I guess I would go down or wherever the controls are for the humidifier and see if they've been, messed with. It's curious that it's the same problem. So you may be right. This may be somebody that followed you home from your first house. The thing is this. It's unusual. It's probably a man, because it's usually men spirits that will mess with heaters and furnaces and air conditioners and thermostats, not usually women. So have the house blessed, smudge, and see what happens. This one is from Sam, and he is from Canada. I have experienced many encounters with earthbounds and others. I used to feel them, but now I see them also, and you are right about them being just like they were in real life. I have recently accepted these sightings and experiences as a reality. I was frightened to let myself believe it until I read your book, and it was just confirmed that now I know it's to be true, and that helped me a lot. My problem is that I bought an 1850 period farmhouse, and I know there is one earthbound child in it. I'm okay with that, but there's another being that feels completely different, very dark energy, and I can't tell what it is, and I don't know how to make it go away. I don't want to confront it if I don't know what it is. I think I may need backup, or advice at the very least. I know that you can see them just by talking on the phone. Could you help me remove it over the phone by telling me what to do? Sam, you can of course call and I can tell you what I'm seeing in the house. Anybody can do that. Remember, no computers, no it has to be on a phone or write, which you have. So now you're at the second step. So give me a call and leave times when it'll be good for me to call you back, and I will tell you what I see in the house. I do not know what you can or can't do. I don't know if you know how to make the light. I don't know if you know how to watch them walk into the light. And I can't make the light over the phone. So we can talk about this and I can absolutely give you advice. But I just can't do it from this letter. You're going to have to give me a buzz. Okay, this one is from John in Michigan. I had imaginary friends growing up. I had grown up in a very dysfunctional home. I used hard drugs for 2 years in my teens. My sisters and I had experiences in our childhood home and our grandmother's home. I am interested in knowing the following. Were my imaginary friends earthbound spirits or guides? They could have been either. Everybody has spirit guides around them. As an adult, you're supposed to have 14 to 16 at all times, but they're from the light. I can't see them. But they may be, like you say, friends, earthbound, or spirits. Did they stay with me, but my relationship with them changed? If you were a teenager and you were into drugs, those are probably totally different spirits that are around you now if they're earthbound. If you are clean now, then they're going to go find some other kid that they can get going into drugs or alcohol. So it is probably not the same ones. Additionally, were the energies in both of our family homes perpetuating dysfunction or helping us? When you've got earthbound spirits in the home, anything that anybody's addicted to, anything, it could make it a lot worse with them in the house. So they were not helping. They were absolutely making it worse. I also felt a combination of sadness but with hope. One of my sisters always felt hopeless. Thank you for your time. When you have earthbound spirits in the house, you could get a bad case of depression from them. And that's pretty common actually, especially when you're going through recovery from any kind of addictions. And again, sometimes, the energy around you is not good. So start taking some sea salt baths or use the blessed sea salt soap, smudge, and just keep doing that and have the house blessed. And I think that's it for today. Couple commercials. Tonight at 7:30 is going to be the Zoom. We normally do it on Friday nights, but Ted is having his knee replaced tomorrow. And I don't think he's going to be in any condition on Friday night to do the Zoom thing. So definitely it'll be tonight, and the next two are on May 29th, Friday, and then June 5th, Friday, both from 7:30 to 9. These have been pretty interesting. There's really been some, people have gotten some really cool information. And again, I just have to get used to this computer business. And do not forget, this Friday, the 22nd, there is a new moon. So make sure you do your Law of Abundance. It peaks at 1:39 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. So make sure you get your times appropriate in your areas. And so we will do this next Wednesday. I'm sure Ted will be not back up on both feet, but you'll be able to work the computer and we can get this going. So have a safe, good week, and we will see you next Wednesday. Thanks.